Mr. President, I appear before the United States Senate today to ask for support and for adoption of a resolution honoring the memory of 67 lives that were lost in a tragic accident that occurred last week over the Potomac River, and to recognize the heroic efforts of hundreds of first responders who supported the rescue and the recovery operations in the aftermath. Last Wednesday, January the 29th, American Airlines Flight 5342, traveling from Wichita, Kansas to Washington, D.C., and U.S. Army Aviation Brigade Priority Air Transport 25 collided over the Potomac River near Ronald Reagan Washington National. There were no survivors. This collision is the deadliest aviation incident America has witnessed in nearly 25 years, and I am heartbroken at the loss of life and the pain experienced by family, friends, and loved ones of the victims. This loss is personal. It's Kansas. This loss is personal. I've taken this flight many times. My wife and I have taken this flight, as have thousands of other Kansans traveling from our home state to the nation's capital. Since this crash, we've learned that, as expected, Kansans were among the victims. And I extend my prayers and deepest condolences to the friends and family of all 67 victims from across the country and even around the globe. Among the victims are husbands and wives, fathers and mothers, sons and daughters, friends and coworkers. There are not words, we know, to express the devastating loss that families and friends of victims are now experiencing. Even as we mourn the 67 killed in this tragedy, we are reminded of the American spirit of solidarity and support displayed over the course of the last 8 days. I trust that this spirit will persist as we continue to mourn and to heal. I'm joined by several of my colleagues whose constituents are among the victims. Their participation demonstrates that this loss is felt not only at home in Kansas, but across the country. We're all grieving, and together we can help bear each other's burdens. Immediately following the crash, hundreds of first responders from more than 40 local, state, and federal agencies responded to the scene, working tirelessly through the night and into the days that followed on rescue and recovery operations. The first responders from the District of Columbia, from Virginia, and from Maryland, along with various federal agencies, acted bravely, swiftly, and courageously in harsh conditions. This resolution commemorates the victims and acknowledges their loved ones' deep loss. And we will promise in this resolution to continue to help carry those burdens for them. This resolution also expresses gratitude to law enforcement and emergency medical personnel, to all the first responders who arrived to try to make a difference, and they did. Mr. President, I yield to the senator from Virginia, Senator Kaine.